Climbing back upon Mount Soapbox for another rant. And if you have a rant suggestion, be it about Grand Theft Auto, gaming in general, YouTube, and I haven't done it already, be sure and check the rant playlist first. FYI, feel free and send your rant suggestions my way via the comment section, Twitter, Facebook, or Discord, all the social media to the GeauxBurns Nation, linked below in the description section. So this article came to my attention a few days ago via some of you awesome subscribers on Twitter. Shout out to Steven who sent it my way via Twitter, and of course to all of you that were inquiring, including Hassan, regarding this important issue that transpired at Hangar 13. So the article from Kotaku linked below in the description section. If the podcast, gets posted over on ACG, I'll definitely have it linked up there for you guys to go check out. Big layoffs hit Mafia 3 developer Hangar 13. Mafia 3 developer Hangar 13 laid off a significant number of staff in yet another example of the video game industry's brutal churn. Publisher 2K confirmed the move when reached by Kotaku. Quote-unquote, 2K can confirm that there have been staff reductions at Hangar 13 in order to ensure that the studio's resources are properly aligned with its long-term development plan. Let's see, the reductions will not influence 2K's ability to create and deliver its products that are currently in development. They never take these matters lightly and are working with the affected employees to support them and explore potential opportunities throughout the organization. The publisher would not specify how many people have been laid off, although Kotaku had heard that it was a large portion of Hangar 13's staff. The studio, based in California, has spent the past year prototyping as it tried to figure out its next project. According to one person familiar with the company, one potential idea, which the person said Hangar 13 recently discarded, was involved a third-person action game with a quote-unquote fight-to-music system where your moves would create songs, not unlike the canceled Harmonix Chroma. Mafia 3, which launched in October 2016, was a commercial success for publisher 2K, shipping to retailers over 5 million copies as of early 2017. It was Hangar 13's first and only game so far. Okay, so the reason why I'm ranting about this particular topic is because obviously I covered Mafia 3 extensively on this channel from the start in August 2015 all the way up to the final DLC for Mafia 3. And of course, I did like a 1 year later video back in October 2017 regarding how far Mafia 3 had come, before launch, the expectations of Mafia 3, the disappointments at launch, as well as the DLCs that came out. And I feel like I'm kind of personally invested in Hangar 13 because I spent well over 2 years of the channel promoting their game, Mafia 3, because I'm a huge Mafia fan. As a lot of my subscribers know, since the beginning with Mafia: The City of Lost Heaven, which I recently, well, not recently, a month or so ago, finished Let's Playing from start to finish. And also, I Let's Played Mafia 2. By the way, Mafia 2 is officially backwards compatible on Xbox One. So if you have Xbox One and you have a 360 copy of Mafia 2, or if you want to purchase it in the Xbox Store, I think it's like $8 US, so it's relatively cheap. There's also the DLCs available. I think Joe's Adventure is like $10 US, which is interesting because it's more expensive than the game itself. But anyways, I do intend on eventually live streaming Mafia 2 on the Xbox One in somewhere down the road. I don't know if I'm going to do it in March. Maybe I'll do it sometime in April. It just depends on, how things are going to play out, when it comes to the new games coming and all the information, etc., etc. But back on topic, obviously, I am a huge Mafia fan. I love the franchise. And like most of you, I had things I liked about Mafia 3. There were things I didn't like about Mafia 3. But a lot of hate has come Hangar 13's way because of this game. And some of it I sympathize with. I understand that there were issues and bugs, glitches, crashes, which I did bitch about during the Let's Play of Mafia 3. You can go back and watch. And I did mention it in my review video. I mentioned it in my 1 month later video. I've mentioned it in several other Mafia 3 videos, including my 1 year later Mafia 3 video. But this is something that really bothers me. why is it okay to, point out only the cons of a video game, but when you put out the pros of a game, because there were some pros about Mafia 3 that I actually liked. The characters, the plot, the story, the setting. The city of New Bordeaux, based off of New Orleans, and of course the 1960s and the awesome music. I loved all that. And yet, I get demonized by comments like, you are what's wrong with the industry. You're promoting a shitty game. A game, by the way, that was put together with a lot of hard work by the development team at Hangar 13. And they spent, at least 2 or 3 years working on this game before launch. Hours upon hours. They probably missed weekends with their family, vacation time, putting in tons of overtime to try and get this game out by the deadline. Now, am I letting Hangar 13 off the hook? No, absolutely not. But at the same time, the deadline was probably set in stone by the publisher, 2K. But I thought the publisher was Take-Two, because Take-Two is above 2K and Rockstar and Hangar 13. But anyways, the point is they had to get the game out by October 2016. And like I've said before, and I'll say it again, I generally believe that Mafia 3 needed a few more months of polishing to get all those bugs out of there. The bugs, the glitches, the crashes that a lot of us experienced at launch October 2016. I mean, yeah, in the end, Hangar 13 has to accept responsibility for that. But at the same time, you also have to cast some of the blame on the publisher as well, that most likely wanted Hangar 13 to keep the October date, for the holiday season of 2016. So, there's plenty of blame to go around. At the same time, this was a brand new development house, Hangar 13. This was their very first game. And despite the flaws, despite some of the issues I had with Mafia 3, including the skybox, they could have done a better job with the skybox. I really felt like this team, along with 2K Czech, because 2K Czech eventually came into the fold under Hangar 13. And shout out to our friend Unknown Assassin, a.k.a. Faya, who was our quote-unquote consigliere when it came to information gathering regarding Hangar 13 and Mafia 3. But at the end of the day, I felt like this team, the developers, the writing staff, everybody involved with Mafia 3 put a lot of time, effort, energy, blood, sweat, and tears and love into this game, despite its flaws and imperfections. And I felt like they learned a lot. I felt like they came a long way, till the very end of the lifespan of Mafia 3. Like, the 3 DLCs that came out were very good. Faster Baby, Stones Unturned, and my favorite of the 3, which I was not expecting to be my favorite, Sign of the Times. All 3 solid story DLCs from Mafia 3. And I felt like by the time that Sign of the Times came out, that this was generally a really good game. I mean, maybe not at the same level as Mafia 2 or Mafia the City of Lost Heaven, because, both those games are awesome in their own right. 2 fantastic games. And so automatically, Hangar 13 had, a huge bar to reach when it came to Mafia 3. And there have been people that have had legitimate complaints, and then there have been other people that didn't like the protagonist because he wasn't your typical Italian mafioso. They didn't like the direction the game went. Well, that was the choice of the staff and the writing department of Hangar 13. They chose to go with a different story regarding the Mafia game that they made. And in my opinion, it still does tie into the Mafia franchise, because Vito Scaletta still plays a huge part in Mafia 3. And he's basically kind of like the character at the center of the Mafiaverse. He was the protagonist of Mafia 2. He's retconned at the ending of the first Mafia game along with Joe Barbaro. So yes, because of the fact it included a continuation of the storyline for Mafia 2, Mafia 3 most definitely was a worthy third game in the Mafia franchise. And I felt like Hangar 13 deserved, and still deserves, another opportunity to, go back to the land of Mafia with potentially a Mafia 4. And despite this major layoff to Hangar 13, I hope that they're able to recover, and I hope that their next project, whatever it is, will turn out to be successful enough to get them back on their feet. And eventually, hopefully, we'll get a Mafia 4 from these guys, and they're going to learn a lot from their mistakes, as well as the feedback that they received, pro and con, from the fan base of the Mafia franchise. And hopefully, they will get a chance to make Mafia 4, because I feel like that they deserve it. despite, like I said, the many issues Mafia 3 had, overall, there have been a ton of worse games that have come out at launch. At the same time, it doesn't excuse the issues that Mafia 3 had. The lesson here is Mafia 3, like many other games, should be delayed, given more time to polish and fine-tune the issues, more QA, before they release. And that is probably a big reason why Hangar 13 is having this issue right now when it comes to the layoffs, despite the commercial success of Mafia 3. It was probably not as good as they were hoping, but there was still some commercial success regarding Mafia 3. And this is a very good reason why I don't have a problem with Rockstar delaying Red Dead Redemption 2 once again, because so many times this happens, whether it's Mafia 3, Kingdom Come Deliverance, a list of other games a mile plus long. You just got to give developers a chance, publishers, to get those issues worked out. The bugs, the kinks, the glitches, the crashes. Because you're just thinking short term, publisher. You're thinking about how much money can I make right now. But if you give them a few more months to get all that out of the way, to make the game cleaner, smoother, a better experience for the fan base and new gamers to the franchise, then long term, you're going to end up making way more money because you're going to sell more copies of a game like Mafia 3, bug-free, or with a lot less bugs than it had at launch October 2016, than you are at the short term. And that's an issue. I think a lot of them are very short-sighted when it comes to the suits up at the top of the ivory towers of these publishing companies. Not all of them, but they definitely need to learn that lesson when it comes to giving developers like Hangar 13 time to get the game fixed, polished, and smoothed over before it's released for the public to purchase, consume, as well as review and critique. Because, you know, bad news travels a lot faster in all aspects, especially the gaming industry, than good news. In conclusion, just remember that all the people that work at these companies, whether it's a publisher, our developer, at the top and at the bottom, they are people, just like you and me, full of flaws and hopes and dreams and ice creams. And that's where my sympathy lies right now with all the former employees of Hangar 13 that are affected by this huge layoff. I hope that they all find work elsewhere, whether it's in various other developer houses under 2K or somewhere else entirely. I really hope you guys are able to find work somewhere and are able to keep making awesome, fun, exciting games for us, the gamers, to go out, purchase, and enjoy.